Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. God has given us unlimited treasures in His Word. Every time we open it, we can discover a new treasure or admire an old one. What will we find today? Here's Carla Early with Treasure Hunt in the Word.
At the end of every service at my church, the pastor gives an invitation. They aren't just to come down and join the church or even to make a public profession of faith, though that is time for both of them. But it's a time to respond to what we've heard in the sermon, whether that's privately at our seat or going forward to pray at the altar. Because what we hear in the sermon or even in the songs, or even just what God is dealing with us privately in our hearts during the sermon, always demands a response. That might be worship and praise to God for who He is and what He's done, or a change in lifestyle, or just a shift in thinking. Similarly, the Bible records the responses of those who saw Jesus' miracles. They never disputed the miracles. They were obvious. But the people who witnessed them had a choice. They could believe or not believe. They could allow His words and miracles to draw them closer to Him, or they could make them even farther away from Him. No miracle could have proven Jesus' veracity more than His raising Lazarus from the dead, right? I mean, a guy whose body's been in the grave and had begun to decay so much that it stinks? Only God Himself could bring that to life, right? But we still see belief and unbelief. John recorded after this amazing miracle, then many of the Jews who had come to Mary and had seen the things Jesus did believed in Him. But some of them went away to the Pharisees and told them the things that Jesus did. It was public knowledge that the Jewish leaders wanted to kill Jesus, and this new proof of His identity and new followers would only exacerbate this more. So those who brought the news to the Pharisees had to be unbelieving, gossipy troublemakers. As I've heard before, the same sun that melts ice hardens clay. The gospel will soften hearts of those who are open and seeking Him. But for those who have heard and rejected over and over, the gospel will further harden them. Like back in Exodus, Pharaoh hardened his heart during the first few plagues, but at one point it says God hardened Pharaoh's heart. And that can happen to people today too. In Luke 16:19-31, Jesus told a parable about a rich man and Lazarus. This was just a story, but a very powerful one, relating to this story of the real Lazarus. When the rich man, being tormented in hell, begged for Abraham to send Lazarus to warn his brothers, Abraham replied, "If they do not hear Moses and the prophets, neither will they be persuaded, though one rise from the dead." Lazarus did rise from the dead, and Jesus did soon after. But Jesus was right. The Jewish rulers still didn't believe. They didn't even consider believing. When they got the Sanhedrin together to contemplate what to do about Jesus, belief wasn't even on the table. The only thing they could think of was self-preservation and getting rid of the threat Jesus posed to them. They never attempted to deny His miracles. They just wanted Him to stop doing them. Their power and position seemed to be slipping away from them because of this Galilean carpenter, and they weren't going to stand for it. Fear of Rome was only an excuse. The only thing on their mind was, we've got to get rid of this guy. In John 12, we find that they even wanted to kill Lazarus because so many people believed on Jesus, and he was living proof of the miracle. Self-focus has no place in a true believer's life. When God starts working, our first thought should not be, what will this cost me? How will things change for me? Instead, we should be thinking, what gives God glory? Instead of thinking how uncomfortable it might make us, we should be wondering how we could get involved in it and point other people to Him. It's easy to get self-focused and a bit too practical to do God any good. How can we be more open to God's plans and His way and give Him glory? How can we trust Him to do His thing instead of getting in His way?
You can contact us at treasurehuntintheword@gmail.com. We'd love to hear the treasures God has given you through His Word. You can listen to other episodes on our website, which you can find in the description below. Thank you for listening, and remember, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.